Welcome to the H-Town Shutdown, your one-stop shop for all things Houston sports here on YouTube. I am your host, R. Press, and thanks for joining me today on a very, very, very disappointing weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. Supposed to be a long weekend, supposed to be relaxing, stress-free, but the Astros could not allow the city of Houston to relax and be stress-free this weekend. They had to go and make Labor Day weekend a disaster. What a disaster. We'll get to that in a second. First, I just want to say thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got Houston sports content, and I also have general sports content. I just released my NFL predictions, all my picks for standings and picks and playoff standings for 2023. Just released it on the channel. Got a college football episode coming up probably tomorrow. That might drop tomorrow or Tuesday. And, of course, the constant updates of the Houston sports. We got the Texans starting week 1. The aforementioned Astros are in a dogfight for the American League West. So some good content coming up. So make sure you subscribe and so you get notified anytime I drop a video. Also, shout out to my alma mater, the U of H Cougars. Going 1-0, beating University of Texas, San Antonio. I believe it was 24-14. It's a good whooping, man. Started 1-0. Nice win at home in the dope, and I mean dope, Oiler colorway that U of H pulled off this week. Absolutely filthy what they did, man. Oh, man, I got to give me I got to give me a jersey or a shirt with those colors, man, those Oiler colors. Very nice. But shout out to U of H football for getting it started and getting going on the right track. Can't say the same for the Houston Astros. Man. They were coming into this weekend series winning 5 straight games and had a club record 78 hits. Man, that offense was blazing. It was hot, man. We got back Michael Brantley, and he came in and did his thing on the road against Boston. And then we get back home to Minute Maid Park, which has been probably the worst place for the Astros to play. We can call that place, our home field, the House of Horrors. Currently, the Astros are 35-34 at home this year. 1 game over 500. They are way better on the road than they are at home, and I just can't seem to understand it. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a trend that's going to change in this last month of the season. We got 24, 25 games left. You can't win your home games. Matter of fact, getting swept at home. This is the second time in, I think, 3 weeks that the Astros have been swept at home. First, it was the division rival Mariners. Put the league on notice, sweeping the mess out of us and beating our behinds 3 games straight. And then, unfortunately, the New York Yankees, a team that has miserably underachieved this year. They're talking about getting rid of the GM, getting rid of the manager. It's been a disastrous year for the Yankees. They are in last place in the American League East. None of that matters because why? They won the season series against the Houston Astros, and to make it even better, they swept the Houston Astros at home, 3 games zip. New York is 68-69. They're under 500, 8.5 out on a wild card spot. It's slim chance that they'll be able to make a run to the playoffs. But you know what? They swept the team that's been a thorn in their behind for the past 8 years. They got some get back. You know, this is the first time that they swept the Astros since 2013. This isn't the first time they won the season series. I think they won the season series in 2021. So they've tasted success in the regular season against us, but not like this. And not when they were trending downwards. Man, they played a bunch of guys that they just called up. And those guys came in and they did the damn thing. It makes you wonder, what took you so long to call these guys up? Why weren't they in the lineup? This one guy they called the Martian, Dominguez. Man, he's going to be a problem going forward, man. Had a couple other guys, Wells. I can't think. Pereira, I think. They had a bunch of guys that were called up within the last week, or they're in their rookie year, and they did some damage to the Astros, man. And it started on Friday night with Justin Verlander, who usually owns the Yankees. Well, wasn't this time. It was a bunch of Yankees that he hadn't seen before, including Dominguez. And his first at bat, he took the Hall of Famer yard. Switch hitting outfielder. That guy is a problem. He hit a home run tonight in the Sunday night game off of Javier that flipped the score and made it 3-1, 2-run home run. It was 1-0 going into the fifth inning. I think that was the fifth inning when that happened. So Verlander gave up 4 home runs in his start. Next start is Hunter Brown. He has been up and down, mostly down the past couple of months. And that trend continued. Walking batters left and right. Bringing in Phil Maton, who hasn't been the best reliever and has not been the most consistent reliever. He allows the runs to score. I think he's got to be. I think he has like a 55% percentage of letting inherited runs scored. So when he gets in and there's already runners on bases, more than 50% of the time they're going to score when Maton's on the mound. Which leads to tonight's game where the Astros can only score 1 run. 1 run. On Saturday, Severino started. You know, he's been having a down year, and teams have been getting to him early. I remember Baltimore got him for 7 on one Sunday night, 7 in the first inning. We couldn't get to him. Verlander looking below average. Hunter Brown just looking, walking batters left and right, man. And then our starting pitching has been the biggest issue this year because our bullpen is taxed. I say it every time I come on here and I talk about the Astros. The bullpen is taxed. Our starting pitchers can't get past 5 innings. They can't get. J.P. France is the only one who can consistently get you to 6-7 innings. Our starting pitching has let us down tremendously, which leads to the decision maker. Listen, I'm a Dusty Baker guy. I'm a fan of his, but you know, at this point in the season, social media, a lot of people on social media just aren't really feeling the decisions Dusty makes. And I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt because, you know, hey, he's Dusty Baker. He's a Hall of Famer. He won us a World Series last year. But last year was last year. And this year, you cannot deny there have been way too many questionable decisions, man. He refuses to play Diaz every single day. He refuses to make Chas McCormick the starting center fielder every single day. Chas has had so many clutch hits and has been a consistent offensive player for this team. He's been in the lineup. I think he was a little hurt beginning of the year. And ever since he's came back, the guy's been raking and plus he's above average on defense as well. He refuses to make him the everyday center fielder. The up and down lineups, man, where you don't know who's playing. Pinch hitting, when was this? I think it was last night, Saturday's game. 5-4, a man on second, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Chas McCormick is pinched hit by Singleton, the worst hitter on the team right now. You got to give McCormick the opportunity to go against, who was it, Clay Holmes? I know he was, he's been difficult to hit, especially in these situations where he's trying to close out the games. But come on, man. Singleton hasn't hit anybody since the Angels game 2-3 weeks ago where he hit a couple of bombs. You cannot do that, man. And then today, Chas McCormick, not in the lineup. I don't know, man. Listen, I'm not saying Chas is, King Griffey Jr., but, man, he has been a consistent bat for this team. And he hits well at home. Something that we haven't done as a team all year. You know, I know Altuve got hurt in the first game and missed, only played 1 inning the first game and missed the second game and came back tonight. But injuries have been an excuse all year for us, and we hadn't even been. If we look at it compared to Major League Baseball, we weren't the most injured team this season. We had some significant injuries. I'm not gonna downplay it, but at some point in time, you got to turn it around. And it seems like the Astros refuse to turn it around. The 5 straight games gave us all false hope, and these last 3 is a microcosm of what this season has been. I mean, the weird below average numbers and the just above 500 record at home is alarming. We're fighting for a division where you will, if you win, you get the 2 seed and you get that bye, but then you get the first 2 games at home and you get home field advantage. Do we want that? Astro fans, just do we want the first 2 games at home? Do we want home field advantage the way we've been playing at Minute Maid Park? I know we're a team that has been resilient and has shown the wherewithal to navigate October. At this point, you need to get to October. At this point, you need to get to October. Now, the only saving grace is both the Rangers and Mariners lost their series this weekend, but both of them were able to get 1 game at least in the series. And the standings are, the Mariners are on top of the division. They're ahead of both the Astros and the Rangers by 1 game. Astros and Rangers are in a virtual tie for the division, and they're both 1 game behind Seattle. Seattle begins a series with the Cincinnati Reds next, and the Reds are fighting for their playoff lives over in the National League. So that should be a good and competitive series. And lo and behold, we finally reached it. It's Labor Day. The series between the Rangers and the Astros begins tomorrow afternoon, Monday, Labor Day. Both teams are in a virtual tie, and the division is right there up for grabs. I got to be honest, guys. Once the Astros left Boston, I thought we were going to be in this game coming Monday. I thought we'd be at least 3 games up on the Rangers. The way that they've been struggling, and they've been struggling tremendously. Every time Chapman comes into the game, he blows a save. They have been struggling tremendously. But the Astros hadn't taken advantage of anybody's struggles. The Mariners, who hadn't lost in weeks, lost a series this weekend against the New York Mets, and the Astros could not take advantage of that because they got swept at home by the hated Yankees. And the Yankees love this. If there's one team they want to sweep and want to knock out of the playoffs, it'll be the Houston Astros. Even probably above Boston. Maybe the same amount. I know they can't stand the Red Sox. They can't stand the Rays either. They would love to see them get knocked out. But the Yankees know that the Astros have been a thorn in their side the past decade. And what they did this weekend, I got to admit, was impressive, especially the young kids that came in. It was impressive, and it was pathetic. This is a pathetic performance by the Houston Astros, man. This is why I say, I don't know if this team could win the World Series. I know probably a couple podcasts back, I was like, this team will get to the American League Championship Series. How? I know how? We got to get to the playoffs first before I can say that. Before I can say that so definitively, we need to get to the playoffs. And the way that Dusty's been managing and just giving away games with these weird decisions, just you can't go into this this last month feeling like like the division is ours. I'm not saying, the only saving grace is that the Rangers have fallen off and the Mariners got a tough road ahead. Boy, they got a tough one ahead. Tough schedule ahead. But it doesn't matter because the Astros have made after winning 5 straight, you go and lose 3 at home to the Yankees, who were dead. They were dead. They are dead. They're not making the playoffs. And you lose 3 straight at home. Yeah. It's terrible, man. This is worse than the Mariners loss because you could see the Mariners. If you're being honest, you could see that the Mariners had a beat on you. They just solidified it that last series. They had won 5 out of 7 before that 3-game series here at home where they swept us. I don't want to play at home, so I just want to make the playoffs now. As an Astro fan, I just want to make the playoffs, and if it's a wild card 6 or 5. Let the chips fall where they may, because if this team can't win at home, they can't beat the Yankees, who aren't going to be in the playoffs at home. They've lost 5 straight games at home. At home, they're 35-34 at home. You would rather take your chances on the road because they seem like a completely different team. The bats seem to be hot on the road. When they get home, it's ice cold. Starting pitching, no matter what, it has been bad. It's been bad whether at home or on the road. But at least you got run support on the road. At home, man, good luck. You know what? You know what's even worse? Full of Yankee. All you can hear is Yankee fans in our stadium cheering this sweep on from Friday on. What a disgusting. This is why you can't just say that this team is going to be all right. Like, if you talk to Astro fans, here in the city, a majority of them are panicking. And then there's that, 15% is, they'll be fine. I'm sorry, the panicking fan, maybe a little extreme, but I side more with them right now. Sorry. They'll be fine. They'll be. Come on, man. You can't say that with this team. You just can't. And the talent's there. We already know it. If we get here's what I would love to see: a consistent lineup. Just a consistent lineup. I know that they're deep, and that's a good problem to have, but then it's also not a good problem to have. A consistent lineup would be nice. And maybe if it looked like, Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Tucker, Diaz, Abreu, Brantley, Pena. Was that 9? And McCormick. If that's your everyday, I'll be fine. Let the chips fall where they may. But more cases than not, that's not the everyday. And it just you're fighting for the division, man. The sense of urgency just does not seem to be there with this team. And it's unfortunate. So it makes for an exciting finish. I will say that. But it also makes for a stressful finish. Next series is Texas. As I mentioned earlier, starting tomorrow. This is important because the schedule gets pretty light after that. But, you can't say it's. I thought the Yankees was light. It wasn't. So I'm not even looking ahead at what the schedule is or who they play. It doesn't do us any good. Doesn't matter. I thought the Yankees was lighter on the schedule, and they weren't. They came in and swept us. So it really doesn't matter at this point. At this point, it's all about where's the heart? Where's the grit? Who wants it? That's who's going to decide this American League West. Who wants it? Because after this weekend, I don't know who does. Texas doesn't. The Mariners, who were riding high, they don't seem to want it now. The Mets came and brought them back down to earth, and their schedule gets tough. We know Houston don't want it, getting swept by the Yankees. It's about who's going to have the heart to finish this season out and go after this division because it's up for grabs. And I don't know how much I don't know how much I can say I like their chances. Houston. I don't know. I did before we came home. Maybe I'll like it after this Texas series. We'll see. But it's an important series. You gotta flush this one. Don't flush it and move on. And you gotta go and you have to win this series in Arlington. You have to win the series. If you don't, you're going to be in a real dire situation, because if you lose a series, well, you wouldn't lose a season series unless you get swept. So if the Astros get swept, they'll lose the season series. All they have to do is win one game. They win the season series against Texas. But to win the division, you need to win the series. You need to win 2 of 3, preferably 3 of 3. And it's going to be it's going to be exciting. I will say that, but it's going to be stressful. But apparently that's how the Astros want it this year. They want it to be stressful. They want it to be difficult. So they're getting what they asked for. We'll see if they can withstand it. Disastrous weekend, guys. If you're an Astros fan out there, stay strong. And let's see what these next 3 games bring us. And that's all we can think about right now. That's all we can think about right now. Get through these next 3 games, see where we stand then. And hopefully something consistent as far as a lineup, offense, pitching. Got to give the bullpen credit. Besides Phil Maton, everybody's been pretty good. So I got to give him credit. Montero, I've been tough on that guy. I've got to give him some credit, man. He's turned it around. Hopefully he stays consistent with that, but we'll see. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. We'll see what happens. This is the H-Town Shutdown. I'm your boy R Press, and until next time, y'all have a good one. Peace.